Good morning. First, I'd like to thank the leadership of ASLMS for allowing us to bring dentistry and laser dentistry back to the program. Praveen and I invited all of our competitors and several to BILAs, and several agreed to come this year, and several will consider next year as we build momentum. But we would love to have lasers in dentistry back with the respect that we had 10 or 12 years ago. So there we go. I'm the Vice President of R&D for BILAs. I've been there 22 years. I have no other affiliations. And I want to take you on a little journey back to the development of all-tissue lasers, and certainly a personal journey, as you'll see. And I've been excited to see personal journeys for the dermatologists as they went from graduating from school in their residencies to founding companies and things. It's been very motivating this week to see the success other companies have had. And so I wanted to share how this evolved. I was there at the first, so it makes it a little easier for me. You may not have ever seen this at a dental meeting or a derm meeting. This is Professor Mayman's original notes for the design of an optical maser. I was lucky enough to get access to all of his information. This is May the 16th, 1960, and you can see here, it's a very simple design, just a capacitor and voltage, just going in and firing up a flash lamp that he purchased from Eastman off the shelf, and a ruby crystal. And then here's the actual device. I was lucky enough to meet Mrs. Mayman, and of all things, the Smithsonian was trying to get this laser, but she was carrying it around, and she allowed me to play with it. And so it's the most elegant device. And Mayman was on the Tonight Show and all the big things when he came out in '60, and his favorite demonstration was actually burning a hole with this ruby laser through a razor blade. So it was really a high-powered laser. And then over to the right, you see a Heaney on the bench top, and that was my exposure. The first laser was in Dr. Reinhardt's lab in University of Alabama in 1968, and I'll never forget that red beam glowing in the dark lab, and little did I know that I'd be spending the rest of my life with lasers. So interesting, this was in Dr. Mayman's notes as well, the death rate. This came out in around '62, and we're still living with the preconception that lasers are dangerous or lasers can be weapons. In the dental community, dermatology, ophthalmology, it's different, but this death rate thing is one of the reasons we believe that even after 37 years of lasers in dentistry, we still are not standard of care. So, but the concept is captured here of replacing the dental drill. People hate the dental drill and the sound of it, the pain from it, having to have a shot for every procedure. So I thought this was interesting to come out, and this is in the LA Times many years ago. So as soon as they got commercial lasers or scientific lasers, we began experimenting, starting with the ruby, and then going to the CO2 as it came out, and then the new wavelength, neodymium YAG, and then finally argon. And they tried all these lasers on teeth, along with bone and hair and everything else. And all of these wavelengths exceeded the 5 degrees centigrade threshold for denaturing the tooth. They killed the tooth. So none of the early wavelengths would work on hard tissue in dentistry. So quick review. We divide lasers in dentistry into hard tissue, soft tissue, and now photobiomodulation as the three main areas. And just as a reminder, dental enamel is the hardest structure in the body, and just 1 or 2 millimeters away are some of the most sensitive nerves in the body. So the ability to cut enamel and remove decay just a few millimeters from these sensitive nerves is a technical challenge. And that's the main reason why with a high-speed drill, the dentist has to give you a shot, because those nerves, it doesn't take much to get those nerves really worked up. So the technical challenge for us with lasers going back into the 90s was to replace the drill and do hard tissue without pain. And so it took a while. So jumping back into the overall industry, 87, Pfizer came out with a CO2 for the use in ENT and oral surgery, and that was the kicker for getting us into the market. And then that was followed by Terry and Bill Myers coming out with the American Dental Laser with the ND-YAG, 3-watt ND-YAG. The ND-YAG, they heavy marketing, very heavy marketing, and they took the industry by storm. They created tremendous revenue, and once they started, basically proved the concept of it, that people would buy a dental laser, then all of the other laser companies jumped in, and we got startups going, and then existing laser companies like HGM and Luxar, we all jumped into dentistry, and I call this the soft tissue wars. For about 5 years, we were just taking over dentistry with soft tissue lasers. And then in '95, diode lasers came out, and they really supplanted all of these first generation lasers. During this same period, we had a lot of new indications added up through the FDA, including photopolymerization, tooth whitening, transillumination, caries detection, exciting stuff. And we finally got more organized and formed the Academy of Laser Dentistry and the World Clinical Laser Institute and AALZ, and got more professional and as a group. And then finally, in 1997, Premier came out with an erbium YAG for hard tissue, and Biolase followed in '98, and ConBio came out in '99, and that's when we really began the hard tissue in dentistry. Cabo had a erbium YAG that worked at 4 hertz that they showed in Germany and sold in Europe, but it was never FDA cleared in the United States. So it really started, all tissue lasers really started in '97. So let's look now to where we are. So where we are is with Biolase with the erbium chromium YSGG laser, Photona with a erbium YAG, and Convergent with a 9.3 CO2. These are the major companies. There's also other erbium YAGs. J. Morita and Light Instruments have erbium YAGs. So this is the current market. The key thing here, if you look at the wavelengths in the wavelength chart, is that all of these lasers in all tissue category are highly absorbed in water and hydroxyapatite, and that's our key to our success. So the technologies that we're currently using, I've got in the list here. I'd like to bring attention to, just as an example, the Biolase radial firing tip for periodontal surgery, where 85% of the energy goes out to the sides to disinfect the perio pocket, but 15%, it's designed for 15% to go straight down and disinfect the bone at the bottom of the pocket. So very designed, and we have all the companies have different tips, just like they have different drill bits to do different procedures. And then quickly, wanted to highlight, this is a list of the key indications, but wanted to highlight that half of the adult population in the United States has some form of gum disease. And what this has allowed us to do is we've done clinical research to show that laser procedures, as opposed to the very invasive flap surgery done by periodontists, we're getting equivalent results with much better patient outcomes. And I assure you, if you need gum surgery, you want it done with a laser, not having your gums peeled back and scalpels and blood and stitches and everything. And due to the benefits of lasers in periodontal surgery, 25% of the periodontists have lasers now in the United States, and that's our highest concentration, over double what the general practitioner market is. So here's some FDA indications, highlight the root canal and endodontic surgery. Those are really growing. Endodontics is the fastest growing area of laser dentistry right now. And here we have 30 soft tissue indications, but those have just gradually expanded over time. 13 individual periodontal indications, and then I want to highlight the two newest indications is the laser removal for porcelain crowns and veneers, and also the reduction of mineral loss in dental enamel. Those are the two latest. So let's take a quick look to the future, and what I'm calling the dental laser community, the manufacturers, the researchers, the dental professionals, the patients, millions of patients that have been treated, and the people whose family has never had to have a shot or a drill for their children. Our daughter is 35 years old, and she's never had a drill touch her tooth. And that's phenomenal. Her perception of the dental profession is totally different than me that had a slow speed drill, remove half of my tooth and stick amalgam in there in the 50s. So anyway, what we need to do is we need dentists performing the procedures with the laser that they can perform, and not they're either not performing or that they're using other technologies. We need to educate the dentists, highly educate them with laser technology, and then the patients need to know that this technology is out there and virtually demand it from the profession. And finally, looking into the future, the way we're going to increase the adoption rate is with additional procedures, especially patient-friendly procedures and things like snoring or aesthetics, fee-for-service, the addition of PDT, and things like that a mother can relate to for her children or whatever. The more indications we have, the better our adoption rate, the more we can accelerate our adoption rate. And then finally, one of the things that's fun about my job is getting to incorporate new laser technology. So here at ASLMS, science, industry, the big photonics meetings, we're always looking for new technologies that we can adapt to the industry. And finally, it's been a long road, a very long road, but the future for laser dentistry has never been brighter. Thank you.